Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 525. We continue our updates and support, care, love. We're not stopping until it's over, and I think it's going to be a while. Sending one thing out. I want to thank you for being here, and hit that button, and away we go. As always, thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, supporting, giving, all of those things. We couldn't do it without you, and it is deeply appreciated. On a day when it seems like there's not much going on, I'm here to tell you tonight that there is a ton of stuff going on. And if you saw the title of the program tonight, it is why war in Ukraine is the epicenter of the global chaos. I've got some Ukrainian media, I've got Zelensky, I've got Russian media, I've got Putin ceremony today, Solovyov, all kind of stuff. So thank you for being here. All of you guys there in the chat. The Sade's telling us, weatherman, China's flooding. No more aid to Russia. We'll talk about that. Slava Ukraina. Welcome to you, Mr. Barry. Linda Cassio, Greenville, PA. Welcome to you. Don Gentilini, wherever you're coming in from tonight around the world. Great job reporting truth in this post-truth culture. When the USA and the rest of the world wake up to the reality and confront this genocide in Ukraine, it's not enough to be sorry after the war. That's spot on. The Sade as Oklahoma. Mark McLaren across the pond. Welcome to you. I saw that Kyiv was showing Russia how anti-air works. That's correct. I've got the July update tonight. Every month, Ukraine releases the numbers, how many drones, how many missiles have been fired against them during the month, and they give their success rate for taking them down. I've got all of that for us tonight as well. So, going to be a good night. Thank you for being here. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start here, something I was talking about 2-3 weeks ago. That is the statue to the Motherland. The new adventure begins, and the Soviet crest has been removed, and they are in the process of putting up the Ukrainian coat of arms. That statue there, been there, of course, as others that have been to Kyiv. If you've been to Kyiv, you've been to that statue. It is ginormous, overlooking the river, the Dnipro River, and it's a beautiful statue. They can light it up with the LED, all of that. But the hammer and sickle is now gone. I've got a little bit of that for you right here. You can see they were taking that down. There it comes down. So that's it right there. That statue has been adjusted, and now the Ukrainian coat of arms. I can also tell you that the Ukrainian coat of arms that is now going on it is not being made in Europe. It is not being made in America. It's being made in Ukraine with Ukrainian steel. Zaporozhye steel plant there in Zaporozhye is constructing it. So that's what's happening there. We talked about that a few weeks ago, and I told you guys that it would be early August when they would be doing it. Here we are, August the 2nd. And it's happened. Now, good news on the front. Avdiivka, Ukraine, has made a little bit of pushes here. Listen, as we've talked about, the war's not going anywhere quickly. We're going to talk more about that tonight. But we are having a little bit of success in Avdiivka. So I'm going to bring you around the front lines tonight. Remember, gold, red, occupied, triangles, lines, fortifications. The dotted red line is actually the front line. That is correct. Good to see the statue denazified. I got you, bud. Very good. The gold, Russia, forward push. The blue, Ukrainian forward push. And you guys know, up here in the north, Kharkiv right here to the left is the toughest area for Ukraine right now. It's the Russian border right here. You wrap around, you see some. This is the Liman front. Russia really wants to take this back again. You've got some Ukraine counter push here, but you're seeing a lot of gold here. But it will change as we move down. And I'm really zoomed in on the front line for you as we move down towards the Bakhmut area. But you can see this is outside Krovsk, Liman. This is the front. This is the city they want again. And honestly, do not want them to get Liman, because right outside of Liman is Rygorodok right here. And if you guys remember the little grannies, the first granny I was giving supplies to, and the cruise missiles were going overhead and the shelling was incoming and outgoing, that was Rygorodok. And those ladies are still okay, but it's getting closer. And we were concerned about that. So a little bit of Ukrainian push back here towards Zolotarivka. These are just little teeny villages, folks. And there's something I want to say about that in a moment when we get down south. A lot of gold up here. We've got some Ukrainian push back here. This is on the north side of Bakhmut. Some Russia responses. Biggest area is south of Bakhmut. Bakhmut being here. I'll put it in the center of the screen for you. Bakhmut being here. They've taken back a large swath of territory there. The highlands overlooking Bakhmut. Russia pushing here. Ukraine out of Novgorodovsk, taking a good swath here. And then this is where Ukraine has made some pushes. It's right here on the north side of Avdiivka on the south, and pushing in here. Of course, the concern here is you get like that, you can get pinched, but they're pushing. So this is Avdiivka, and folks, that's really close to Donetsk. You then wrap around south, Krasnogorivka, Russia pushing. Down below, there's another town called Konstantinivka and Perskovilka. Ukraine making a push here. We then come to the south. This is the best. Russia is trying to push in and take Ugledar. I'm now on the southern front completely. And then if we come below Veliki Novosilka, this is the second largest swath of territory that they've been able to take. But Russia pushing back a little here and here. But Ukraine's made some great pushes down here. The problem is, and I'll show this place as an example. What's the problem they're having? I'm going to tell you. If you see where they've taken this territory here, and Zhenya and I've been all over this, Novosilka, Vremivka, all of these towns. And Ukraine has taken back, for example, these places like Novodarivka, Rivnopil, Blagodatny, Makarivka, and then the latest battles here, and are still ongoing in a place called Stomaryorsk. What's the problem? So all of these villages look exactly like Bakhmut. They're all leveled to the ground. So as Ukraine pushes forward, not only are they having to deal with extreme minefields, we're going to talk about that in a few moments, but they're also having to deal with lack of cover, because down south, it doesn't look like Donetsk region and Bakhmut region, where you can have large forests and big ravines and natural cover. Down south, it's flatlands. It looks like the prairies of Kansas and the flatlands of Oklahoma. It just looks flat. So there's very, very little cover. And then as we push on over down below, and you can see just the fortifications, just small pushes here. They're both pushing. And then as we come more south towards Kherson, nothing's changed. Nothing at all. So that's where we're at there. But Avdiivka, we're getting a little bit of activity there for the positive. It's very, very good. Um, oh, nice. Mark McLaren, my friend, let me go to this image, is on an Alaska cruise just now and was in Sitka, Alaska, and found a Russian Christmas shop with large posters supporting Ukraine. That's beautiful, beautiful, because we know Alaska's very close to Russia. A lot of Russians are actually in Alaska. Um, let's see, what's no. Okay. So, an animal shelter I've been helping since the war began in occupied territory was rescued by Russians. Literally, Russians organized several secret missions a few months ago to get the woman who owns this shelter and 700 animals out. So, you're saying that Russians, and I know where that's at, I think you're referring to Oleshki, pretty sure. I think my memory's right. So it's going to be right here, south of Kherson, this village here, Oleshki, is where this shelter was, I believe. And yeah, for sure, if they were rescued, Russians will have to be doing it, because trust me, unless it's liberated, you're not getting in there. You're not getting in there unless it's liberated. So that's where we're at on that. Let's go back to this and push to here. Odessa. Odessa continuing to be struck by shaheeds. They're taking damage. Last night, quite a few, 5 or 6 shaheeds hit their target. This is a sample. You can see where the impact was on the silo. To be honest with you folks, that probably did not even have a payload on it. Maybe, I don't know, but it's destroyed now, one hole. This is, of course, having a payload, Odessa. These are all port facilities being struck, Odessa. I mean, it's 100% the Russians are going for every port facility to wipe it out. You know, we're talking normal warfare now. I hate to use that phrase, but typically before this, lots of strikes, and as they continue to be, civilian places, hospitals. But now they're hitting these ports. They're trying to make a statement on this, and they're doing it. Now, Ismail was hit again. Beautiful. It was incredible support. I know, CZ, you've been here since the beginning, and you have talked about those animals for a long time. So we're very happy with you. Extraordinary story, and most of them are in Poland. Beautiful. Good stuff. You know, there are good people everywhere. Even in these crazy places and rogue nations, there's good people. So Ismail hit again, of course. What I've colored in for you guys here so you can understand, everywhere you're looking on the map there that is green or looks like a Google map is Ukraine. That's the Danube River, and everywhere in the red is Romania. This is not a repeat of 5 nights ago. This is not regurgitated information. This is a second strike on Ismail. Here it is right here. The port structures are hit. Let me give you some video of Ismail, and then I'm going to show it to you on the map. It says Odessa because it's the Odessa region, but it's Ismail. So that's a little bit of video there. Now, if I go here, click that button. I've got it set up for you right tonight. Here is Ukraine, of course. We all know the shape of that nation now. And then you have landlocked Moldova. But that little leg kicks out, and it's Ukraine. Ukraine is actually completely below Moldova. That's why there's no access to the Black Sea for them. And then the Danube River is that yellow line coming down the border with Romania. Ismail is right here. I mean, it's pretty good size, folks. And where it was struck, I can show you that right here. So right across the river here, where my mouse is now, is Romania. And they were striking right here. See that building right there? Right there. And then you can see, I'm zoomed in here, these are the port facilities. I mean, we're talking serious port here. You realize this port doesn't just affect Ukraine, but due to the deep water terminal there and the deep water access, European nations, Romania, others have access. Daniel Svedman, welcome to you, my friend, from Sweden. Love Sweden. Love Sweden. You get a howdy. We've got an Oklahoma howdy to a beautiful place up there, Sweden. So there we have that. That's what's on that front. That's Ismail. Now, a couple more things. Kherson. It seems like I'm giving a daily report on Kherson. So you may ask, okay, what happened in Kherson last night? Well, what happened in Kherson were they were shelled all night long. Fortunately, it's terrible to say this, but only 4 were wounded last night. Nobody killed in Kherson, but these are some of the pictures from Kherson. It is daily destruction in Kherson, and the reason why is right here. This is the reason why. Kherson right here. You guys know we work all down here along the river, all of this area. But this front line, and then you see the gold here. These are all bogs, swampland, islands, like a jungle down there in the river. Reedy, trying to describe it to you. And then, of course, on the mainland here below the river, it's nonstop shelling. So the distance here is nothing. We can do this, and I can show you. Man, I'm getting good with this Google Earth thing here. Been practicing. Mykolaiv and Kherson right here. So here, you can see the bogs and the swampland and the lowlands down here. I know it looks like solid, but it's boggy. It's full of water, full of little lakes. You can see it there. It's swampy. So here is the soccer stadium. Here's Oleshki, where the animals were rescued, all along this area. So let's just say they're in Oleshki, and it's 7 miles. For those of you in Europe, it's 12 kilometers. That's from Oleshki. But where are the Russians at? Let me clear that. They're all in this bog here. It's let's go a straight line. I mean, it's a kilometer. It's shelled every day. Every day. And fortunately, tonight, only 4 wounded, because typically it's loss of life daily in Kherson. Additionally, Kharkovka Reservoir. What's up, Medic Trevor? Miss you, buddy. Looks like a great place to hide and a horrible place to live. Chuck Pinkham, San Jose, California. I put a Ukrainian heart sticker on my truck today. Go ahead, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's Medic Trevor. I think you're down in Texas. I think my memory's correct. You don't want to live down there. Kherson's nice. You get outside of Kherson, you do not want to live there. I love it, but it's hot. Holy moly, it's hot. And then the winters, ripping wind. It's cold, it's tough. Nova Kharkovka. Most people don't understand, and this picture was released today by Ukraine, just reiterating for the world to see. This is the Kharkovka Reservoir. Now, I thought about that today, and I realized that most people do not realize what we're talking about here. So tonight, I'm going to show you, when we talk about this reservoir and the devastation that it is causing in Ukraine, you have to see it to believe it, first of all. So I'm going to do my best to show it to you tonight. Let's go back to this look. I'm going to go right back here. This is Kherson. You go up the river. This is the Antonivka Bridge. It's been destroyed. You then come upriver. Work upriver. And it's not that far, folks. You come to the Kharkovka Dam. This is the dam that was blown. The reservoir starts right here. I'm not going to measure that part. You go upriver past Berislav, which is a good-sized city, shelled every day. You come into Zmivka. I've been in Zmivka. In fact, I can show you, Shane, you're not standing right here on this beach in Zmivka. We've been all these river places, but it's still the reservoir. But I want to show you, it's huge here. I'm going to give you the measurement here across. We'll keep it in kilometers. That's fine. And I'll switch it to miles. So right here, you're at 7 kilometers wide. For those of you with miles, it's 4.6 miles wide. It's massive. But all reservoir, but I want to get up to the big part of the reservoir. You come on up the river, and then you wrap right here. So from this area here, all below Nikopol, really all the way up almost to Zaporizhia, back around Energodar nuclear power plant. This is the reservoir right here that when you see a picture on the internet or this picture right here I'm showing you, this is this region. It's bone dry, very, very little water in it. Now, how big is that? All right. We're going to go to path. And I'm just going to do a basic outline. Will it let me? Yes. I mean, this is as basic as it gets. I need some Jeopardy music. So, oh, do I need to do polygon? Yes. Oh, come on. Go. Lock it. All right, let's do it this. Yeah, no, I got, nope. I need to do polygon. Sorry. Let's do it this way. I mean, go, baby. Thank you. Now I got it figured out, folks. How can you do this on live? I can. Here we go. Come on. I've got to flip you over and bring you up. Oh, thank you, Lord. I'm already at 574 square miles. So I'll take that out and do that. Not bore you to death on that. 570 square miles. Los Angeles, 500 square miles, I think. 475 square miles. So for those of you that are familiar with Los Angeles, the huge basin, that's what you're looking at here. It is a massive reservoir, and there's just no other way to describe it. So that's the Kharkovka Reservoir. So whenever you guys are seeing pictures or you're talking to folks about it or conversation comes up or you're sharing about it, That's a lot of water that is gone. Kharkovka Reservoir. Now, this is the July report. ANSI drop. Agreed, bud. This one event upsets me the most. There are many that make me upset, but this one is one of the worst. It's exactly right. What's up, Nate Fody? Looks like where I spent my time in the Corps. Cannonball right there. Yes, sir. It's every bit as wide as the Mississippi. Oh, yeah. Listen, when we were standing on that riverbank, I mean, it's a long ways across there. So here's the update. July, I'll translate this for you guys. In July, 415 air attacks against Ukraine. Top section, 265 Shahed drones were fired at Ukraine. Ukraine took out of the air 206 of them. That means it's great, 77%, but that also means that 59 of them hit their target, plus the deflection damage. Below that on the left, you see what looks like to you guys as a KPMB. It's actually KRM, and it means KRMB. Caliber, that's 72% success. 54 of those missiles fired, 39 taken out of the air. Ukraine does very good against the KH-101s. 41 of those fired. That's the middle on the right. 37 of those taken down. They've taken down 90%. Below that, we'll stay to the right. That says Kinjal. That's the hypersonic missiles. 4 of those were fired at Ukraine, and Ukraine was able to take out 50% of those, or 2 of those out of the 4. Those are the hypersonics that are carried on either the MiG-31s or the Tu-95 bombers. And then here's the problem. The Onyx. That is the Navy missiles that they have modified. 20 were fired at Ukraine. 0 taken down. I mean, just think, 20. So total average, or the total percent defended, 70.6% for the month of July. 7 out of every 10 pieces flying through the air were taken down. It's good, not good enough, especially when you have 20 Onyxes hitting their target every time, and quite a few Shaheeds getting through. So that's where we're at. I think somebody said early in the stream, Ukraine can teach Russia how to do air defense. Well, it's true. If that was going at Russia, they'd be in trouble. But unfortunately, it's not. But that's where we're at for the July report. Now, this came out in the Washington Post today, and it was shared all over Ukraine. December the 8th, 2022, this is the map of where the positions were. The red dots were Russian fortifications, and December 2022 is when Ukraine started requesting cluster munitions. December the 8th, 2022, to be honest. Now, they didn't come. They finally came, a month ago? So, between December 2022 and July 2023, these were the fortifications that Russia built. During that delay of stronger munitions, or even the freedom to fire them while the red tape's being worked through, Russia was fortifying. This is one of the major reasons. It doesn't matter what you read on the internet, what you see on the news at night, if it's covered at all. This is the reason right here the counteroffensive is slow. Russia has fortified that front line so intensely. It is mined. It's the most mined territory in the world. They've also fortified their borders up by Kharkiv and by Sumy. They dug in for 7 months, and this is what we see. So that's December 2022. It's July 2023. Sign on the left there says warning or danger mines. They're spelt M-I-N-E. I know that looks like M-I-H backwards N, but it's M-I-N-E phonetically in English letters. Mini, that's how you pronounce it. Mini, mines, minefield. And it says warning. Typically, this is what the Ukrainians are facing. And Danilov came out today and said, even if we can get back 5 meters a day, we're taking it. 5 meters. Why? Because typically where Russia has fortified, and that's these images, in a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer square, they have 8 rows of minefields. 8 rows. Typically in a 1 by 1 kilometer. This is why Russians are wounded all the time. They are being killed by their own minefields because it's crazy. And I can tell you, when Zhenya and I are there and we're in places where the Ukrainian military has marked the mines, we don't play with it. It's not even like, I hope, maybe you want to pull over on the side of the road and stretch your legs for a moment, and because you're running so many miles or kilometers. When we see the mine markers, if we need to get out, we stop right in the middle of the road, right in the middle. We get out, we never leave pavement where our eyes can see. It's that dangerous. People are injured daily by mines, especially in this summertime. It's dangerous. And the more territory that Ukraine liberates, which we want, the more they have to deal with civilians getting into the minefields, discovering the minefields. It's just sometimes a catch-22. So that's what we're dealing with there. Now, F-16s. F-16s. Oh, by the way, Matt S., it's going to be take decades to demine Ukraine after the war. That's correct. So I have a number up there in the upper right, 20. Ukraine only has officially 20 military demining pieces of equipment, and they are building in Ukraine 2 every month. So for that long of a front line, that many mines, they have 20 pieces of equipment. That's it. Yes, farmers modify their tractors. They put armor on them and they're trying to till up. I've shown you guys videos of that, but officially Ukraine has 20 demining pieces of equipment. Now, the F-16, everything came out today, and we tell you the truth here. Everything that's coming out of the United States side and the European side says that F-16s will not, or the training for the pilots will not begin in August. That's US, that's Biden, that's EU positions. It's going to begin imminently, but it's not beginning in August. There were reasons given for that. A, the EU, because of the pressure coming against Poland, the activity in Belarus, the Wagner, they're having to pay attention to all of this. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. That's the plan of Vladimir Putin. Also, the United States now looking to take some of the money allocated for support of Ukraine and funnel it towards Taiwan. That's interesting. Did you guys see that today if you're here in the U.S.? Biden looking to take some of the money that's designated Ukraine and funnel it to Taiwan. Wonder what's going on. And then the EU concerned about their position. However, Zelensky said today, our training will begin in August. Now, there's nothing official about that. I even heard him say it in the speech, in his evening address. I'm not sure he's promoting hope or being positive or speaking good words, but there's nothing official on that. So that's where we're at on F-16s. Now, you guys probably heard a couple of choppers had an incursion into Polish airspace. Everybody going a little crazy about that for a few hours, and then more stories about the Wagner, and now Poland's pushing troops up. Let me explain to you what happened. President Lukashenko was going to his retreat in Vizkola. You may ask, where's Vizkola? I'll show you. Desktop here. Let me type it in. Vizkola. Vizkola, Belarus. Don't you just love this thing? Right here. This is it. Polish border's right here. So this is where Lukashenko was going. He was going for a little rest for a few hours. He was having lunch, and this is one of his retreat areas. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's right here in this forest. It could be here. It's somewhere here protected. It could be here. Regardless, it's right here in Vizkola. And he had two choppers heading out in front of him. They were, doing the military thing, the presidential escort. I'm confident this story's true. I've seen it verified multiple times. So at 9:40 a.m., the Mi-8 and the Mi-14 flying ahead of Lukashenko's group. They veered in. They came back out. Lukashenko at 10 a.m. arrived at his place in Vizkola. He must have been there for a brunch, or because of the incursion decided to leave. That's probably my guess. 12:30 he departed, and that's what happened there. Yeah, that's interesting, Mark. Wasn't detected by Polish radars. A bit concerning. Agreed completely, because they incurred. I've the videos there. It's a fact. Those two choppers went across the border lightly. Now you see, I've got a couple of notes down here. Distraction? No. We keep saying, and I believe rightfully so, that, let me go back to this image here. We'll just go to this map here. That anything happening in the war in Ukraine, for example, Wagner over here near Brest, right on this Volyn region here of Ukraine. Lukashenko's group having a little incursion up here. Okay, the world pays attention to it. Now, listen, this is not by mistake. Down here in Ismail, right here, Russia hitting that port city, destroying the port 2 separate times. Do you see how much stuff is happening near borders? There's a reason for that. Why? Because it's not just a distraction so that now, Ukraine's got to move troops to here, or Ukraine's got to push more troops up to Lutsk because, the Wagner's up there. Well, Poland's got to push troops. That's right. You see, when the war in Ukraine starts to touch the borders, even theoretically, a couple of choppers incur. Lukashenko's up near the border. The Wagners are over there. 4 more columns of Wagner came in. We just put some Shaheeds in a S-300 down in Ismail. What happens to NATO and the U.S.? Logically, doesn't matter what you see. This is easy. What happens? They have to pay attention. Now, EU slows down a bit, and that's what we were talking about, the F-16s. Well, they're getting closer to us over in Poland. We've got to make sure we've got enough of our supply. Folks, this is exactly what Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin wants. He wants the world saying, hold on, maybe we should not supply so many weapons to Ukraine. We got to make sure we got enough for ourselves. Hey, Xi, can you rattle your saber over toward Taiwan? Because if you do that, the U.S. will start diverting funds and equipment to Taiwan, maybe. You see what happens? And then the eyes begin to come off of Ukraine. Exactly right. They stretch the NATO resources. It's really smart move. It's really, really a smart move. USA, NATO have to say, got to be careful. Romanian president once again coming out today and say, what are you doing? What are you doing getting that close to our sovereign dirt? Romania is going to be thinking, we better make sure we got enough of our own supplies here. This is where we're at, folks. And Vladimir Putin knows exactly. I'm not giving him praise. I'm just telling you the truth. The leadership in the world, unfortunately, just weak. Can't see. Or if they do see and understand, they're awful slow to respond. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but this is easy to see. Easy. And that's what's happening right there. Now, are you ready for this? This one's crazy. Folks, I figured it out today. I'm telling you right now. Niger is Wagner/Russia, period. 100%. Why? Are you guys aware of the Nagal Pipeline? You said, okay, this is about Ukraine. No, I'm telling you the truth right now. Why Niger get in the news like this? Why did this coup happen? Why do they have all the pro-Russia signs? Because it's simple. Right now, the Baltic states, as bulldoggy as they are, and nobody's more of a bulldog than the little nation of Estonia, but Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, no matter what you see or hear, they are still running off of Russian electricity. They do not stop running off of Russian electricity until 2025. They need the Russian resources. The gas is flowing. The electric is flowing. Doesn't matter what you see. I'm telling you, it's flowing. Now, what does Russia do? Well, we've got all these pipelines, electric exports that we do to Europe. What do we do? Well, it looks like they're wanting the gas and the resources to come through a new pipeline out of Nigeria, the massive gas and oil fields, through Niger, through Algeria, and then it joins these other pipelines that are existing. And where do they come? Into Spain, they come up through Italy, and they come into Europe. Well, if we just eliminate Niger, they can't put fuel through the pipeline. Well, what happens then? They're going to have to buy our fuel. And you may be sitting there going, do you really think that stuff's happening? 100%. 100%. It's not a conspiracy theory. That whole swath right there on that little map you see, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Chad, it's all Russian controlled. All of it. Look it up yourself. It's all Russian controlled. And that, what is happening in Niger, is to limit the supply of resources coming out of Africa into Europe. Why? Because if they're not coming out of Africa and they're not coming on a boat from America, where are they coming from? They're coming from Russia. It's just the way it is. And he knows it. This is why I called the program tonight, Understanding what's going on here. It's simple to see. Now, Shaheeds. Look at that crew of characters up there. Shaheed's going to be built in Belarus. Shaheeds are already being manufactured in Russia. Of course, they're manufactured in Iran, and they are shipped through the Caspian Sea. Right here. They come out of the Caspian Sea. They come right around to Russian mainland, right into the war. No problem. That's how it happens. But now Belarus is going to be manufacturing, Russia already manufacturing. So you've got exactly what Putin wants. There's Putin. He goes, okay, I've got Iran. I've got Belarus and Lukashenko. I just had Shoigu in North Korea. And I've got Xi. I've got Xi saber rattling around Taiwan. I've got Xi supplying me through third-party nations such as North Korea or in Iran. It's happening. This is the crew right here. Those 5 guys, that's the crew, those nations. And you may say, well, Belarus, they're a little teeny nation. Yeah, but they are the entire northern border of Ukraine, fully allowing Russia to do what it wants. They're very important. Of course, those other cats. So that's what's happening on day 525. This is what's really happening. So the question mark over there in the upper right, what's next? What is next? Especially with that news coming out about Taiwan today. What's next? We'll see, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Putin said today he's going to go to Turkey. He's going to fulfill his word, go down there and talk to Erdogan. It will be his first international trip since the war really escalated. You guys are aware that the ICC, International Criminal Court, The Hague, has put out an arrest warrant. And that's theoretically why Putin didn't go to South Africa for some meetings. So today, this information comes out. It's so funny. This is why I encourage people to come so we can really try to educate and share it and support. People went crazy today on the internet. Putin's going to go to Turkey. Turkey's NATO. Turkey's going to arrest Putin. This is the game plan. People, really? You don't know much. Let me explain to you why Putin probably will go to Turkey. He reiterated today that he will, but why Putin can go to Turkey? You say, well, doesn't he have that international arrest warrant? Well, yeah, he does, but it's irrelevant. Why? This is from their government website. Turkey is not state party to the Rome Statute. The activities of the ICC are closely followed. Annual meetings of the state parties takes place in The Hague or New York. They're attended by our officials, but we're not a member, a supporter of the ICC. Well, U.S., not a state party to the ICC. You're saying, what? Here you go, folks. Right here's the map. Red, you're not a member of the ICC, International Criminal Court. Right there in the middle, Turkey is not a member. Why will Putin go to Turkey? Because he cannot be arrested. United States, not a member. Russia, not a member. Why are they in orange? Because they were original signers to the 1998 Rome Statute. But United States, Russia, both left the ICC, The Hague. They're not legal on the books for the ICC. So why can Putin go to Turkey? It's easy. He will not be arrested, folks. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. Airbud, you're right. It was so much of it today. Spewing Turkey, NATO name only. If Erdogan arrested Putin, be one of the biggest shocks ever. It would be. Friends don't arrest each other. I'm telling you. Yeah, you guys are smart in here, educated. It's just the way it is. And I saw that this morning. I said, I got to share that on the stream tonight, because how can people be so ignorant? Can you not even look up and see if Turkey's a member of the ICC? No, they were just, and it was a lot of Ukrainians. So sorry, Ukraine, all my friends there, my family there. Come on, guys. You know better than that. He's not that stupid. Now, a couple of other things tonight. Interesting build. We follow these guys out of Germany. They're pretty accurate. They're saying today that Putin's projecting a 3-year war and looking at increasing his military up to 3 million. Right now, he has 1.15 million, and he's pushing it to get to 3 million. Of course, they will not be trained to the highest level and prepared, but it's 3 million. 3 million. So this is what's happening, and it makes complete sense with what we've been talking about with the border incursions and pushing up close to other borders where nations have to pay attention and maybe focus on themselves and a little bit less of Ukraine rather, and then little saber rattling in Taiwan. Rocket Boy fires a rocket. The battles going on in and around Israel and Hezbollah, Syria, Iran doing their thing. Terrorist attacks in Pakistan, Niger coup d'etats, and who's thinking about Ukraine, folks? It's exactly what's happening. People go, where's Gerasimov? Remember? We told you guys, he's not going anywhere. Where is Gerasimov? Well, Gerasimov's right here. There he is. You say, well, when was that? That was today. Well, where is that? He's getting the game plan and the frontline report there. He is in Donetsk in Ukraine. So, I think he was eliminated. Yeah, no, he's down in Donetsk, field general there, getting the frontline reports. That's Gerasimov. So Shoigu doing his thing in North Korea, Gerasimov down in Donetsk, Prigozhin, Wagner, Belarus, entertaining African dignitaries in his hotel in St. Petersburg and attending the African Forum with Vladimir Putin. What happened to the Wagner revolt? Just like we told you. Just like we told you. Now, this one's interesting. This is a guy on the right, Vladimir Vinokur, was today awarded the Order of Merit for the Fatherland. You may say, well, who is this guy? 100% Mark McLaren. Wagner Rebellion was a setup. 100%. Vladimir Vinokur is a very famous Soviet actor and comedian. USSR, Soviet Socialist Republic Party. The Soviet Union. He very, very famous in those old classic films and movies, and a comedian. Today, he was given an award by Vladimir Putin, the Order of Merit, for his support of Russia and the fatherland and supporting the war, all of those things. So this guy makes a comment. Now, I've told you guys he is a comedian, so I'm going to voice him over for you. See if you can see who he's making a joke about when he's talking to Vladimir Putin, that is. Pay attention to what he says. He's a comedian. Dear friends, dear our President Vladimir Vladimirovich, I want to congratulate everyone on their high honors and wish you the most important thing. You all know that. What a difficult load on our president. But thank God he is physically developed, athletic, and in general, I was happy when I saw you on a horse and how you climbed the ladder in the airplane, because there are some heads of state who cannot climb the ladder to the airplane, and they say hello. They say hello to people that they don't even know who they are, and they just look around. Thank you very much. I wish you to live long, and the most important thing, we'll have peace in our house. Did y'all catch it? These guys know what's going on. So he's getting that award. I mean, Order of Merit's big time, folks. And he's making his jokes there. Thank you, Putin, for being a valiant leader, riding the horse, and you can even get on board an airplane, not like other leaders who fall down the steps, turn around to shake hands with people who aren't even there. That's the joke he's making. You guys know to whom he's making reference there. For those of you international that have no idea, he's talking about President Joe Biden. So that's what that is. That's what they do. They know what's going on, folks. Then, of course, Solovyov. If you're getting, is Vladimirovich his middle name, or how does that work? Oh, Air Bud, glad to answer your question tonight. Like to educate people. So, this is how it works. In Russia, Ukraine, your middle name as a male is taken from your father's name. So you have a first name and a last name. Vladimir is his first name. Putin is his last name. Vladimir Putin's father's name was Vladimir. Therefore, his middle name becomes Vladimirovich. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. It's a tough one, and it seems like, well, it's twice calling it. That's because his father had the same first name. I can give you a different example. Zhenya, his name, Yevgen. Zhenya, Yevgen. And let's say his father's name is Igor. Okay? So it's not going to be Yevgen Yevgenovich Matsutsa, but he's going to take his father's first name for the middle name, and you add a Vich on it. So his name is Yevgen Igorovich Matsutsa. Thinking about it in English, my name is Gregory. My father's name is Bill. So my name, if I was in that culture, would be Gregory Billovich. That's how it works. Hope that helps. You're welcome. Very welcome. So here's Solovyov. You guys know him. Getting awards, meaning I support you, sir. Russian State TV. You're one of my mouthpieces. What's Solovyov saying today? Here you go. The guy getting the award. This is what he's saying. An air alert has been declared in Kyiv, central Ukraine. Why should we worry about that? These Nazi scum should be blown to garbage, to smithereens, so that they would even be afraid to look towards Russia. We need to act extremely tough. You can't love a kitty cat to the point where you cut it to pieces, piece by piece. Let's hit Ukraine as hard as we can. Let's fight as we know and as we can. So there you have it. That's Solovyov talking, standing there, Putin getting his awards, and then going on state TV and saying, let's just destroy them all. Stop cutting off the cat's tail and just demolish them. Therefore, you realize this is what Putin is saying through Solovyov. Just spouting his garbage. That's exactly what he does. But, antsy drop, what you have to remember, and Matt, what you have to remember is he is on prime time state TV in Russia. And he is watched by millions and millions and millions of people. And they truly get their worldview through Solovyov. He's the number one propagandist. And if you were to hear that every day, eventually a lot of folks are going to start believing it. And they do. So that's the danger of it. Folks, here's reality. Numbers coming out today, between 20 and 50. Ukraine saying about 40,000 Ukrainians, soldiers and civilians, are now amputees. Those are the numbers of amputees, they said today in their report, that match up with 4 years of war from World War I. And here we are, day 525 in Ukraine, and Ukraine has 40,000, maybe upwards to 50 amputees. I can tell you, while I'm there, and I've been on that front for 5 months of this war, and I will be going back here in a few months. I like being there in the late fall or the winter when it's the hardest, so I can help. But the war's not going to be over. But I can tell you, I saw so many people with legs blown off, arms blown off. And I mean, I don't know how to say this politely, but recent. It wasn't people that lost a limb in an accident. They had their bandages, or they were learning how to walk with crutches. I mean, every day you see somebody that's lost a limb. 40,000 people lost a limb. Vladimir Zelensky. So you say, okay, well, what's that? Well, that's what we're going to close with tonight, because I try to communicate with you guys and tell you just the truth, that every night Vladimir Zelensky gives a report to the Ukrainian people. Today, President Zelensky was in Carpathian Mountains having meetings there. You may ask, well, where is that? I'll show you. President Zelensky today was right. Well, let me pull it out so you can see the map. But over here on the very far left in these mountains, he's in this region today, and meeting with folks, meeting with different military. He met with representatives from some foreign nations. He did some personal meetings. He went to hospital. He did all kind of things. Had a long day, but it still did not stop him from giving his daily address to the Ukrainian people. So literally, he's here, probably where he's staying or finishing up a meeting. He holds up his phone and he records his message. This is how he talks to the people every day. And folks, listen, he never misses a day. Never. Some nights it may be 2 minutes and you can see he's done. You can see in this picture he's tired, but sometimes it's 7 or 8. It's every day. It's not in front of some podium. It's not with guards all around him. He just comes personally to the people. I'll give you a little bit of this. I'll translate what he says right here a little bit for you.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Це був довгий і дуже насичений
Good health to all of you Ukrainians, our dear Ukrainian family. Today has been a very, very long day. Our air defense doing good with the Shaheeds, but unfortunately, we've got a lot of hits down, and the attacks on our ports and our infrastructure is becoming a serious problem. Today I also met with partners talking about different things that our nation needs.
Кожне влучання
how to stand
це спільна
against the
проблема.
terrorists
І не лише
from
України,
Russia.
але й усіх тих у світі, чуєш.
So there you have it. Talking about the port, you know, the PPO is what they call it, but it's the air defense. And he says, working hard, but we can't stop at so many. And there were some hits. Let me check a few things here. Air defense, everything looks clear. Shaheeds were hitting Kyiv, no direct hits. There was deflections, and as of right now, we are clear. So that's where we're at, folks. For most of the night, Kyiv, Chernigiv, Sumy, Poltava, and Kharkiv had been under drone warnings. So, but for right now, we're all good. So that's where we're at. And I thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for continuing to like and share, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, join the Patreon, donate, all of those things. We appreciate all of you deeply. That's the update. And this is why Ukraine is at the epicenter of the global chaos. And it's just going to continue, guys. So until Friday or before, if we need to come on before, we will. You guys be blessed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. And we'll see you. All of you guys, I appreciate all of you. I got the dang here from my ANSI drop. That must have been about Zelensky's face. JDO, thank you, brother, for all you do. One of our moderators, Jeffrey Burnett, thank you for all you do. Our moderator out of California, Matt, praying for Ukraine. Thank you for being so informative. You're very well. Cinnamon, thank you for being here. You're very appreciated. Good night, sir. Rest well. Good morning to you. All right, guys, you have a good night, and we'll see you in 48, if not before. Good night.